Welcome to another tutorial video for the OpenReaction database. This video is going to cover the process of submission. And specifically, we're going to look at submitting a single data set to the official repository. So open on the right, I have the GitHub repository, ORD data, that's the official version. On the left, we have just the instructions from openreactiondatabase.org. And you can see we have both web-based instructions and code-based instructions, but we'll just be following the web-based instructions for this tutorial. Our first step is to create a fork of the ORD data repository on GitHub. So we do that by clicking in the upper right corner here, just fork. This is going to create a version of the repository on our personal GitHub accounts. So you can see we have our own version. It's forked from OpenReaction Database ORD data. What we're going to do is create a new branch for our submission. And here I'm just going to call it Nielsen submission. The name doesn't matter too much. So I'll create the branch. The next thing that we're going to do is upload our PB text file that contains the data set. So this is very straightforward with this interface. Simply click, choose our files. This is the data set that we got after enumeration last time. We'll add a short informative title about what we're doing. So we're uploading the data sets for the Nielsen paper figure 1. And maybe in the description, we would add a link to a paper. When we upload the data, it's going to update our local branch. And then we're going to navigate back to the official version of the repository. So in OpenReaction Database/ORD data, you'll see that header at the top asking us if we want to compare and pull requests from our fork and our branch. That's going to open up this pull request menu. Now, as an aside, if it's been a while since we made that commit and we come back to the repository and we don't see that header, we can still manually initiate the pull request. The way we do that is we go to the official repository page. So again, the official ORD data, we click the pull requests tab and click new pull request. We'll want to compare across forks. So we click that link, and then we confirm that we're going to be merging into the official version, the main branch. For the head repository, we use our fork and we select the branch that we've just modified. And after that, we just click create pull request and we get to the same page we saw before. And so here we might put in some extra details about what we're trying to do. So just to show you, we're merging into the official repository, the main branch, from our fork, from our branch that we've just modified. And so what we do now is we'll add some more comments to explain how we prepared this data set and give the reviewers some more information that will help them review the dataset.pbtext file and make sure that this is going to be a valid contribution. So here we put in some details about the paper DOI. We again note that it's from figure 1. And we'll also specify that we use the interactive web editor to create this dataset through the enumeration function. And for convenience, what we're going to do is drag in some of our data. So if you directly drag in pbtext or a CSV, you're going to find that it doesn't like to be attached. GitHub rejects that file type. So we'll go ahead and package up those two files in a zip file and drag that archive.zip over, so it's associated with our submission. After we do that, all we have to do is hit create pull request. That's going to automatically trigger notifications to the reviewers that there's been a new submission. What you can also see is that we've triggered some checks. So we have this message that says that we have a in progress check, that's submission/process submission pull request. And this is going to be an automatic pipeline that's going to validate what we've just submitted and make sure that there are no errors in terms of contradictory or missing information. So that's really all that we need to do to create a submission, but we're also going to look at how you can view the results of automatic validation just in case things don't pass successfully. So this is a few minutes after we've created our pull request, and we see that we now have a green check saying that all checks have passed. And what we can do is click on the Show All Checks link on the right-hand side, and then view the details of that check. When we do that, we see a full workflow, and we expand the Validate Submission part. And what we find is a nice message printing out the validation summary that says we had 0 failures. So 80 out of 80 reactions were successful. Now, if we hadn't used the web editor, there would be a chance that there would be some invalid entries, especially if we didn't use the recommended validation step from the submission workflow instructions. And here is where we would be able to see some of the messages as to what fields were missing or what fields were defined incorrectly, and we'd be able to fix that before revising our submission. So that's all it takes to submit to the ORD. Now, there might be some questions that the reviewers have about the data or fields that look like they might be missing some information that still passes the validation scripts but doesn't completely describe what was done in the experiment. And so there might be a few back and forth comments with the reviewers through this comment box that you see here. And you should also get email notifications if any comments are posted. And likewise, the reviewers will get email notifications to see your submission and will review it as early as possible. So the instructions that we followed on the left-hand side of the screen are available at openreactiondatabase.org, in addition to the code-based instructions where you can prepare a submission through the command line instead of using the web interface of GitHub. So again, you're welcome to reach out if you have any questions about this process. And otherwise, thank you for your interest in contributing.